Welcome back to Trust Your Oats. For the past 9 episodes, we've taken a journey together. We've gone from the seed to the field, from the harvest to the mill. We've talked about gluten-free labels, certifications, and pledges. We've explored what it takes to build a system of trust from the ground up. Today, in our final episode of this season, we bring it all home. We're going to talk about the oat itself. We'll explore the different forms it takes, from the whole groat to the finest flour, and how each one is made. We'll demystify the differences between steel cut, rolled, and quick oats, and help you choose the right one for your kitchen. This is where the journey from seed to shelf finally ends, with a delicious, nutritious, and trustworthy bowl of oatmeal. This is episode 10, Trust the Oat. If you walk down the cereal aisle of any grocery store, you'll see a lot of different kinds of oats. Steel cut, old-fashioned, quick, instant. It can be confusing. But here's the secret. They all come from the same place. Every single oat product starts its life as an oat groat. An oat groat is the whole, intact kernel of the oat plant after the inedible outer hull has been removed. It's the least processed form of oat you can buy, and it contains all 3 parts of the grain: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. It's a nutritional powerhouse packed with fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. From this single starting point, we can create a whole family of oat products, each with its own unique texture and cooking time. It's all about how we process that original groat. Let's start with the simplest transformation: steel-cut oats, sometimes called Irish oats. To make these, we simply take the oat groat and chop it into 2 or 3 smaller pieces with steel blades. That's it. Because the pieces are smaller, they cook faster than a whole groat, usually in about 15 to 30 minutes. But they still have that firm, chewy texture and nutty flavor that many people love. Next up are rolled oats, also known as old-fashioned oats. To make these, we take the whole oat groat, steam it to make it soft and pliable, and then roll it flat between large rollers. This process gives rolled oats their classic flat, oval shape. The steaming and rolling process also pre-cooks them slightly, which is why they cook much faster than steel-cut oats, usually in about 5 to 10 minutes. They have a softer, creamier texture and a milder flavor. And what about quick oats? Well, they're just rolled oats that have been taken one step further. They're steamed for a longer period of time and rolled even thinner. This allows them to absorb water and cook in just a few minutes. The trade-off is a much softer, mushier texture. Finally, we have oat flour. This is simply oats that have been finely ground into a powder. It's a fantastic gluten-free alternative to wheat flour and can be used in all sorts of baking recipes. So, to recap, it all starts with the groat. Chop it and you get steel cut. Steam and roll it and you get rolled oats. Steam and roll it even more and you get quick oats. Grind it and you get oat flour. It's a simple, beautiful process. Now, a common question I get is, are all these different types of oats equally healthy? And the answer is, for the most part, yes. Because they all start as the same whole grain, they have virtually identical amounts of protein, fat, and most importantly, fiber. And when we talk about fiber in oats, we have to talk about beta-glucan. This is a special type of soluble fiber that's the secret behind many of oats' health benefits. When you eat oats, the beta-glucan forms a thick, viscous gel in your digestive tract. This gel does a few amazing things. First, it helps lower cholesterol. It binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids in your gut and carries them out of your body. This forces your liver to pull more cholesterol out of your bloodstream to make new bile acids, which lowers your overall cholesterol levels. Second, it helps stabilize blood sugar. That thick gel slows down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, which prevents the sharp spikes and crashes in blood sugar that you can get from more refined grains. And third, it's great for your gut health. It acts as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut, and it helps keep you regular. Now, while the amount of beta-glucan is the same in all types of oats, the effect it has on your blood sugar can be slightly different. This is where the glycemic index comes in. The glycemic index, or GI, is a measure of how quickly a food raises your blood sugar levels. The more processed a food is, the higher its GI tends to be. This is because the processing breaks down the food's structure, making it easier for your body to digest and absorb the carbohydrates. So, steel-cut oats, being the least processed, have the lowest glycemic index. They're digested slowly and cause a very gradual rise in blood sugar. Rolled oats are in the middle. And quick oats, being the most processed, have the highest glycemic index. Does this mean you should never eat quick oats? Not at all. They're still a fantastic source of fiber and nutrients. But if you're particularly concerned about managing your blood sugar, or if you want to feel full for a longer period of time, steel-cut or rolled oats are probably a better choice. So with all these different types of oats, how do you know which one to use? It all comes down to what you're making. If you want a hearty, chewy bowl of porridge that will stick with you all morning, steel-cut oats are the way to go. They're also fantastic in savory dishes, like a risotto-style pilaf or a hearty soup. If you're making classic oatmeal cookies, granola, or a baked oatmeal casserole, rolled oats are your best friend. They provide that perfect chewy texture and hold their shape well in baking. If you're in a hurry and need a quick breakfast, quick oats are a great option. They're also wonderful in smoothies, adding a creamy texture and a boost of fiber. And if you're doing any gluten-free baking, oat flour is a must-have. It adds a wonderful, slightly sweet flavor and a tender crumb to muffins, pancakes, and breads. This versatility is why oats are not just a staple in home kitchens, but also in commercial food production. Food manufacturers use oat flour in baby foods and cereals, rolled oats in granola bars and snack products, and oat bran to boost the fiber content of all sorts of foods. And of course, there's the booming market for oat milk, which has become a favorite dairy alternative for millions. At GF Harvest, we're proud to provide a full range of purity protocol gluten-free oat products to both home cooks and commercial producers. Whether you're a family looking for a safe and healthy breakfast, or a bakery developing a new line of gluten-free products, we have an oat that's right for you. And that brings us to the end of our journey. From a tiny seed, planted in a clean field, harvested with care, transported with intention, milled in a dedicated facility, and tested every step of the way, the oat has finally arrived in your kitchen, ready to become a part of your life. It's a journey that's been happening for centuries. From the ancient fields of Scotland to the modern breakfast table, oats have been a source of nourishment, comfort, and strength for generations. We've covered a lot of ground in this series. We've talked about science, agriculture, logistics, and history. But it all comes down to one simple idea: trust. Trust in the process, trust in the people, and trust in the oat itself. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you've learned as much as I've enjoyed sharing. Until next time, be well, eat well, and thank you for trusting your oats.